na hali watu wa Murang'a hawasaidiki. Na nikiongea haya pia nataja kuhusu stima ambayo inatoka kule Masinga Dam, ambayo inasaidia watu wa Nairobi wengi sana, na watu wetu pale Masinga hata boma nyingi hazina stima, maana hawawezi kujidumu kuweka ile stima. Ningeuliza serikali ione kama hiyo maji imesambaza kabisa, na hiyo stima pia ya Masinga isambaze kwa kila boma. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Senator Mtinda.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to make quickly 2 comments for statements by Senior Counsel Tom Ojenda. First is on the issue of identification of talents, Mr. Speaker. I've looked at his statement. He's narrowed to the athletes. And he's put it correctly that when our young athletes really rise and become national stars, like what we saw recently with the under-17 starlets that just recently played in Morocco, there was, of course, maximum support by the government, but we have many other talented young people, young Kenyans who can be nurtured and be able to grow to become stars in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from where I sit, I'm very passionate with talent, Mr. Speaker, and as you can see through my pages, I really, really embrace and support young people with talent, because that is the way to go, Mr. Speaker. And so I really support Tom Ojenda when it comes to the issue of identifying and nurturing young talents. And I really want to add the Ministry of Sports, and especially the youth agenda, the youth department, to open up not only the athletes, but even young dancers, young singers, spoken words, all that aspects when it comes to
Senator Keroche and Senator Tom Ojenda, you may consult, yes, but keep it on a lot. You may proceed, Senator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Senator Tom Ojenda, I'm trying to actually comment on your 2 statements. If you could give me an ear, then it would make sense why you submitted them. As I proceed very quickly, Mr. Speaker, also on the issue of registration for our Kenyans abroad, on the issue of the domestic workers. Mr. Speaker, I did put a bill in this House, which I really want to appreciate colleagues because they passed this bill, the Labor Migration Management Bill. It is currently in the National Assembly. I want to request the majority leader to ensure he speaks to his counterpart on the other side and pushes this bill for labor migration management. That bill is going to sort all the issues that Senator Ojenda has proposed in this statement. The way to go, the solution is the labor migration management bill. I have so many mothers, including Mama Bilal, who has come to me crying because his son was left in Saudi Arabia, Mr. Speaker, and it is sad. And so I want to urge our majority leader, Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, talk to your counterpart, Senator Ichung'wah, on the other side, so that this bill comes to conclusion, this bill gets assented. It is what is going to solve the issues that has been raised by Senator Tom Ojenda. With those many few, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Senator Sifuna.
Speaker, I'm one of the tenants at KICC, and I want to thank the Senator for Nandi for coming to our rescue, Honorable Speaker, by bringing the concerns around KICC to the floor of the House. Speaker, I think there is a problem somewhere. The management has really let that building go. There's hardly a week where you go there and the lift has not stopped working. If you come to the floor on which my building is, all the light bulbs, Honorable Speaker, for some reason, are broken and have not been replaced for quite some time. And we are hoping that the management can remember that this is a very, very premier destination in terms of tourism and conferencing, Honorable Speaker. I doubt that there is a building in this country that is more famous than the KICC. The surprising thing is, and I've raised this with the management, I'm sure they know, at least once a week, I see them replacing those water fountains. I thought that project for the water fountains was something that was supposed to be done once. I don't want them to behave like State House, where they are changing the roof every so often, Honorable Speaker. I want us to be able to find a lasting solution because it's a big attraction, Honorable Speaker. If you go there right now, all the school children are there, and they really enjoy those water fountains. We want to find what the problem really is, Honorable Speaker. because this is an institution or a venue that we are very proud of as the people of Nairobi and the people of the country. The most annoying thing for me, Honorable Speaker, is that, there is a picture of somebody smiling on that VIP lift. And because we only have one VIP lift, we all have to wait almost 5 minutes for the lift to go up and down. And we have to stare at that face laughing at us, Honorable Speaker. So we are hoping, that they will move with speed to make sure that the problems that have been identified by Senator Cherargei, including the lifts and the lighting in the building, the water and so on and so forth, are resolved quickly for us to be able to continue to enjoy this facility. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Korir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance also to comment on the number of statements that has been raised by the honorable colleagues. And I will start with the statement that has been raised by Honorable Cherargei on the issue of the situation at the KICC. I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, we have a CS who has been appointed, that is James Mwaura, who is supposed to be checking on a number of issues that has been raised in this statement. And I want to say that KICC is one of the buildings that gives the face of this country, and the issues that has been raised are issues that are really wanting, and I want to say that I concur with the number of issues that has been raised, that they need to give us the challenges that they are facing, if it's the issues of financial, or what is the issue that is making them not to fumigate, not to clean, not to do the right thing to make sure that the building is giving us the right services. Remember, Honorable Speaker, this is one of the buildings that is also hosting a number of members of parliament, and I want to say that cleanliness, Honorable Speaker, is a must, and we must give the honorable members a conducive environment where they can do they construct thank you. They can transact the business of the electorates in a good environment. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, allow me also to touch on the statement that has been raised by Honorable Sifuna on the issue of water shortage in Tana River. Water shortage, Honorable Speaker, is an issue that is affecting the rest of the counties. This is one of the default functions, which I want also to believe that the senator from Tana River should also be looking into it, so that at least they can also be able to tell us the budget that has been made available for that particular county in terms of water, so that at least at the end of the day, despite the fact that we have also the national government which is supposed to address this issue, the county government should move with speed to make sure that they provide water to the residents, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is an issue also of, which has been raised by Honorable Agenda on the issue of talent. I also want to support, and I want to say that the only thing that can make our youth to be busy is when we promote them and support them in developing their talents, Honorable Speaker. This country is known for athletics, it's known for a number of talents, music industry, and a number of talents, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that the more we embrace, the more we give it a consideration, I know our youth will not will participate, and they will be able to smile, because at the end of the day, that is the strength of the nation. Otherwise, I beg to support. Thank you.
Senator Sotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the chance to also make a comment on the statements, particularly the statement by the Senate of Nairobi on the issue of shortage of water in Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, we visited Taita Taveta a few days ago, and this issue came up prominently. The lack of water in all the places in Taita Taveta, and I know that a lot needs to be done in terms of the water service provider, who in this case is Tavevo, and also the relationship between Tavevo and Coast Water. Mr. Speaker, I think one of the things that this House must deal with is to ask ourselves why we still have to maintain the so-called regional water bodies. We have, like in that region, we have Coast Water. what is their role. Given that water is a devolved function, I think some of the functions that are being done by Coast Water should ideally be done by the water service providers, because the existence of regional water bodies is in itself illegal and unconstitutional, because that relationship has raised a lot of concerns, even with the Auditor General, in terms of the services they provide to the WSPs in form of bulk water supply. So I hope the committee will look into that matter deeply and look at all the laws and the regulations around that. And I think it's also high time this House needs to review the Water Act, which in my view, it is unconstitutional because it seems to be taking back the water function to the national government through the so-called regional water bodies, whose role is basically to prepare proposals for donor funding and then carry out mega projects, and then after that they hand over. In fact, they don't even properly hand over as per the Water Act. They just leave it there. If you go to most counties, you find the water projects are not fully utilized because of that limitation in handing over process as per Section 62 of the Water Act.
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on two statements. One from Senator Cherargei and the other one from Senator Sifuna. On the statement concerning the KICC, Mr. Speaker, it needs to be noted by all Kenyans that, in fact, the KICC is one of the greatest symbols of our nation. It appears on our currency.
What did you want?
And Mr. Speaker, this is not a building that should be left to neglect the way it has been left. Mr. Speaker, what Cherargei did not know, Senator, is that actually the designer of that building, one David Mutiso, the first Kenyan African registered architect in 1967, intended that the KICC was supposed to be actually housing the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya. And for him to have thought about that, then this is an iconic building, Mr. Speaker. The truth be told, this building needs to be taken better care of. It needs to be maintained better when people go there. And actually it is one of the highest or the most photographed buildings in Kenya. A lot of people take their photographs there. One of the tallest in East and Central Africa. It needs to be taken good care of. On the matter of the statement by Senator Sifuna on Mzima Springs, the Speaker, today we had the opportunity to interrogate the governor of Murang'a. And this conversation about bulk water and water in counties, Mr. Speaker, we need to have a deeper conversation about this. Because, Mr. Speaker, there are people that are the custodians of the source of Mzima Springs, but they are suffering a lot more than the people who are taking water from the springs. It's the same conversation in Murang'a, Mr. Speaker. The northern collector tunnel, which is collecting water and pouring into the Kaini for onward transmission to Nairobi, the people of Murang'a are not benefiting from that resource. Mr. Speaker, it is important that even as we challenge county governments to expand their revenue basis, their own source revenue, then we also make sure that they benefit financially from resources in their own jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, those remarks I support.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I also wish to comment on the statement request by Senator Cherargei. Mr. Speaker, 1 week ago, there was some conversation that many people missed. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o and a team of thinkers were talking about a new national vision for Kenya. As you all know, Vision 2030 is at its sunset, and the verdict is out there whether we've been able to achieve even half of the targets that we had set in Vision 2030. Part of the target, Mr. Speaker, was to have Isiolo as a resort city. And we were thinking that being in the center of Kenya, we would build something similar to what the Egyptians did with Sharm el-Sheikh. Or we would do something similar to what the Azerbaijan people are doing with the White City in Baku. Mr. Speaker, we thought we would be able to do something like what Ethiopia is doing with the convention center that they have built that has earned them the right to host the COP32 in 2027. Mr. Speaker, there are so many examples. Even the United Arab Emirates, for Dubai to become the great city that it is, it started with the World Trade Center. Mr. Speaker, KICC is part of Kenya's strategic, part of that strategic advantage or comparative advantage we have as a country. But Nairobi is getting congested. So even if we are going to build Bomas, even if we are going to build other convention centers, the conversation that we should have, whether we are one-term or two-term, is what is a new vision for Kenya. And Mr. Speaker, we must ask ourselves, out of the successes or failures of Vision 2030, what is it that we can aspire to ensure that Kenya is not overtaken by Ethiopia, not overtaken by Kigali, not overtaken by neighbors because of a planning system that is messed up. Mr. Speaker, finally, as a country, we should not settle for too little. Nairobi is a great capital, is a great city. It is in the right location, but the standards in this city cannot take us to the next level that we want to be in the League of Nations. Mr. Speaker, I hope that that new vision for Kenya will also include a new vision for Nairobi, and that will come up with a vision that will be accepted. Whether you are wearing green, you are wearing orange, you are wearing yellow, that we can agree on the direction that Kenya should take in the year 2050. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyo. Senator Mazayo.
Asante Mstahiki Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, kwanza nataka kuanza na taarifa ya Professor Ujenda, Senator Ujenda wa Kisumu, alafu nimalizie na hii ingine ambayo ni ya Senator Edwin Sifuna. Ya kwanza kuhusikana na taarifa hii ni kwamba jambo la kusikitisha, Bwana Speaker, tukiona kwamba wale watu wanafanya kazi katika nchi zingine nje ya Kenya. Bwana Speaker, ni watu wanapatana na masumbwi makubwa sana, hususan tukiangalia kama hawa dada zetu ama hata hawa ndugu zetu, either uende upate mtoto ukiwa mwanamume ama upate mtoto ukiwa mwanamke ukiwa nje. Bwana Speaker, kumekuwa na shida sana, kwa sababu huyu mtoto kitu cha kwanza kujitambulisha kwa nchi zingine kwamba yeye ni mtu wa kutoka wapi. Ikiwa amezaliwa upande wa Saudi Arabia, yeye ni Mwafrika na hawezi kujiita yeye kwamba ni mtu wa Saudi Arabia, kwa sababu hakuna nafasi kama hizo ama sheria kama hizo katika ofisi zetu za ubalozi. Bwana Speaker, mimi nataka kuunga mkono taarifa hii. Ni kwamba kunao muhimu kuona kwamba ofisi zetu za ubalozi zinakuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kutoa cheti cha mtoto akiwa amezaliwa na kuonyesha njia pale alipozaliwa, hata ikiwa anafanya kazi katika mission zetu zile ziko kule nje, waweze kujiregister na mama awe anaweza kuchagua pale yule mtoto anaweza kujiandikisha kama mwananchi. Ya pili, Bwana Speaker, nataka kugusia hii ambayo imeletwa na Edwin Sifuna kuhusikana na hali ya maji, ukame wa maji ambao uko katika Taita Taveta. Lakini sasa kule ikiwa kuna mto ule wa Mzizima Spring, tunaona ya kwamba Mzizima Spring kwa miaka mingi imekuwa ikisaidia sana, hususan upande wa pwani. Lakini hivi karibuni tumeona ya kwamba kunakuwa na shida kwamba ule Mzizima Spring haitoshi, haiwezi kuwa peke yake. Hii pia vile vile tuko na upande wa Kilifi, kuna mahali kuna Marereni, kuna jicho la maji ambapo watu wanatakana kupata hayo maji, lakini hayo maji ni kidogo, hayatoshi. Bwana Spika, kunatakana kuwe na njia muafaka kuona ya kwamba makao kama haya ama makazi ya pwani kuanzia Mzima Spring kuja mpaka Marereni, maji yawe yanaweza kusaidia wananchi kikamilifu kuona ya kwamba ukame huo umemalizika. Kunatakana kuwe na njia muafaka ambayo serikali inaweza kufanya.
Senator Mwaruma.
Asante mstahiki Spika kwa hii nafasi umenipa ili kuchangia taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator wa Nairobi, Senator Sifuna, kuhusu uhaba wa maji Taita Taveta. Mheshimiwa Spika, la kushangaza ni kwamba gatuzi la Taita Taveta halina uhaba wa maji kwa sababu kuna vyanzo vingi vikiwemo Mzima Spring, Njoro Spring, Lake Jipe, Lake Chala, Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini shida iliyoko ni kwamba maji hayajasambazwa yakafikia wale ambao wanahitajika kuwa na maji. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tungeomba ya kwamba swala la uhaba wa maji ama usambazaji wa maji litiliwe mkazo kabisa. Mheshimiwa Spika, wiki iliyopita tulikuwa na waziri wa maji Mheshimiwa Mhandisi Mugaa katika kamati ya mashamba inayoongozwa na Mwenye Haji Muhammad Faki, na akatupatia imani kidogo ama matumaini kidogo, kwa sababu alisema tukimaliza ile ama serikali ikimaliza Mwache Dam, ile bao la Mwache litasambaza maji Mombasa na Kwale na kupatia fursa ile cubic mita 40,000 inayotoka Mzima Spring kutumika Taita Taveta, Mheshimiwa Spika, zaidi kwa sababu ile Mwache Dam itapatia Mombasa na Kwale maji. Mheshimiwa Spika, bawa Mzima 1 inatumika saizi Taita Taveta, Kwale na Kaloleni kule Kilifi na Mombasa, lakini yale maji yamekuwa machache kwa sababu lile bomba la Mzima limepasuka na limezeeka. Kwa hivyo yale maji mengi yanapotea kwa sababu lile bomba la maji limepasuka ama limekuwa mzee. Mheshimiwa Spika, swala lingine ambalo linaleta uhaba wa maji Taita Taveta ni kwamba lile bomba la Mzima 1 likipasuka, basi wale coast water wanachukua muda sana kulirekebisha. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunasema ya kwamba ni lazima Coast Water Services Board itilie maanani kurekebisha bomba la maji la Mzima linapopasuka. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia kuna deni kubwa sana ambalo Coast Water Services Board wanadai Tavevo, Mheshimiwa Spika, na ni kwa sababu ile kupotea maji yanapotea mengi sana, kwa ile kimombo tunaita non-revenue water. Mheshimiwa Spika, maji yanapotea kwa sababu ya wizi wa maji na kupasuka kwa bomba, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo ningependa kusema ya kwamba lazima Tavevo waangalie ili bomba linapopasuka walirekebishe kwa muda unaofaa.
Senator Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And as I comment on the statement, I've just witnessed the swearing in or taking of oath of the newest member of parliament. And we were at the National Assembly, and comparing how things are run there, I can say you are very sober, Speaker. Very, very. Mr. Speaker, I wish to support the statement, I think by Senator Ojenda, about the registration and access to citizenship documentation for children. Mr. Speaker, last year, I visited Saudi Arabia. And in the streets of Saudi Arabia, I found some Kenyan women with their children in the streets of Saudi Arabia, homeless, without anywhere to go. They cannot leave the country because they have no documentation or document for their children, and they cannot leave their children. So they choose to remain in the streets because nobody can employ them. And again, the embassy there was not helping then. Mr. Speaker. I wish the Kenyan embassies all over the country, all over the world, should have a dedicated desk for migrant workers, and especially women who get children out of wedlock. Because, Mr. Speaker, some of them get raped there, some of them get children and then their fathers disappear, and they have nowhere to go. And Mr. Speaker, I followed one particular case of one woman called Mama Dalia, and I'm happy to announce that we were able to bring her back home with her children. But the process of getting that certificate, Mr. Speaker, we had to wait for an officer from Kenya to go to Saudi Arabia, take the DNA, then come back to Kenya and give the results, Mr. Speaker. I think embassies should do something about that, and they have agreement with governments and hospitals there, so that those DNAs can be done in those countries without wasting people's time, and so that we can save these mothers, Mr. Speaker. So I think this is something that requires a lot of time and investment to help our mothers and to help the children who are mostly in the streets or probably are being trafficked elsewhere, because Kenya cannot assist them, Mr. Speaker. I support the statement.
Senator Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity and just add my voice on the statement by the Senator of Nairobi, Senator Edwin Sifuna, on the perennial water shortage in Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, we have had the privilege as the committee that is in charge of public investments across our counties, and that is, Mr. Speaker, CIPIC, through the leadership of Senator Osotsi. And I want to say that perhaps categorically, the CIPIC committee should further interrogate on the documents that we recently looked at in terms of the water problems in Taita Taveta. And more broadly, Mr. Speaker, this water problems is happening because of Tavevo, as the Senator of Taita Taveta had actually rightly put. The non-revenue water at Tavevo, Mr. Speaker, is concerning. It's one of the hugest that we have had in the country. And there are claims of dilapidated pipes and collapsed infrastructure, but I don't believe so. I think the issue is the loss of commercial losses, where it happens because of poor billing and sometimes just lack of collection of debtors who owe Tavevo a lot of water bills. And Mr. Speaker, one of the other reasons that I've seen in Tavevo is the issue of the high cost of running the Tavevo water, where you find things like electricity bills, Mr. Speaker, are running huge, and sometimes the billing, even on coast water, is heaped on people like Tavevo. So, Mr. Speaker, this is something that I hope that CIPIC can look into, and to be particular, Mr. Speaker, it can also be a problem that needs to be looked holistically across our counties. Because, Mr. Speaker, I know very well that a place like Biwasco, the WSP in Migori County, is experiencing the same. We have had a big issue of water shortages in Migori, despite the fact that we have got a number of investors in the development world who have invested a lot in the water infrastructure in Migori County. Migori County experiences the same problem, to the extent that we are seeing shortages in Migori town, where we've got huge populations, places like Oruba, places like Nyangubo, places like Onyalo. These places, Mr. Speaker, people are going without water, despite the fact that there is sober infrastructure, that sometimes you find that this issue of non-revenue water in Migori County also features. So, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to urge that even as we're looking at the issue of Taita Taveta, we might think as a Senate to look at this globally and deal with it also in counties like Migori County to make sure that the people of Migori County have water. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Senators. The 15 minutes allocated to the comment session has long been expended, and therefore we will leave it at that. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, I will rearrange today's order paper. We will move to order number 22. Clerk, you may proceed to call that order.
Order number 22, provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate, resumption of debate, question on amendment to be put.
Clerk, do we have the requisite quorum? Okay. So, honorable senators, I will proceed to put the question. That the motion be amended in the 5th paragraph by inserting the word environment after the words unaccounted for, and by deleting the words respective senator appearing in the last paragraph and substituting the words relevant oversight committees thereof. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. So the nays have it. So now, on, yes. Now, before Majority Leader you take to the floor, it therefore means that we are going back to the original motion, and therefore any contribution will be based on the original motion before the amendments that have just been defeated. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I must thank Senator Andrew Okiya Omtata. Okoiti Omtata. I need to get his names correctly. You know, Mr. Speaker, we have quite a number of presidential candidates in the House, and we must learn to, in the Senate, and we must learn to pronounce their names correctly. Their chances notwithstanding, I must insist, Mr. Speaker. And this is such one good and noble, Mr. Speaker, proposal by our colleagues. Many times, Mr. Speaker, there are things that we propose in this House which are very difficult to implement because, unfortunately, they are not within our powers, Mr. Speaker, to either execute or force the agencies or demand of the agencies that are supposed to do it, Mr. Speaker, to actually move in the manner in which the House has directed. But fortunately for this one that Senator Omtata is speaking, this is a matter that is particularly well within our purview as the Senate. This is the House that interacts with the financial reports, Mr. Speaker, from both the Auditor General and reports also of the Controller of Budget, Mr. Speaker, up to and including reports from the Treasury, where the final and eventual accounts, Mr. Speaker, of what has been settled by the county governments can easily be availed to the House. Mr. Speaker, in the year 2016, and I don't know if Senator Boni Halwale still recalls, as members of Budget and Finance Committee, there is a practice which was introduced to the Senate, and that is of releasing statements, Mr. Speaker, to the individual senator on their exchequer releases by the National Treasury, whereby if you go to the pigeonhole, which I'm not sure if members still use their pigeonholes. You know, Mr. Speaker, in these days of technology, people have lost the beauty and the art of receiving letters and opening them. Everybody believes in reducing it to a WhatsApp message. But back in those days, you'd go to the pigeonhole there when we used to be in the Senate lounge just adjacent to this House, Mr. Speaker, and you'd pick the statement from the National Treasury or from the Controller of Budget of how funds have been dispersed to you. That culture has long since been lost. And second, and most importantly, which is why this motion, Mr. Speaker, is a tremendous improvement from that particular culture, is that this one is not just asking for the exchequer releases, but actually the IFMIS, Mr. Speaker, disbursements, and IFMIS report that details who has been paid, how much, what service was it for, so that as an area county senator, Mr. Speaker, you have the opportunity to look at it and say, Busia, in the month of June 2026, these are the funds
that went to Busia. This is what it was meant for. This amount paid for salaries. This amount paid for contractors. And you have a rough idea of what those contractors did, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, earlier today, you will recall, members, we had a very interesting report that is coming up to be presented to the House in the next few days by the Parliamentary Budget Office on an assessment of performance of county governments on account of a few fiscal parameters. And they have done a tremendous job. Members of the Senate Business Committee were today taken through that particular report, and next week, Mr. Speaker, as per the guidance of the SPC, the entire House will actually be furnished with a report for the performance of your county governments for the last 2 financial years that have been concluded, 23-24 and 24-25. We have just concluded financial year 25-26. They will furnish us with the same, where you can see how your governor, for example, has handled the issue of pending bills, whether it is declining or increasing. What is the eventual amount of funds that has been spent under development spend, Mr. Speaker, how much has gone to personal emoluments, and all that used as parameters to measure performance of county governments. To me, that is an improvement from the very archaic reports that we get from newspapers, Mr. Speaker, where you're told, oh, Governor so-and-so is the best performing governor in Kenya, with no reference to whatever parameter, Mr. Speaker. At least next week, Mr. Speaker, the Senate of the Republic of Kenya will be doing something that hasn't been done before, which is to measure and release this particular report. Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid that I'm giving a communication which I know you will later be giving better, but there is a way I'll tie it to this report and why my mind went to it, Mr. Speaker, that this Senate, Mr. Speaker, will actually issue a report on performance of county governments that is scientific and led by actual reports from other agencies, not us as a House. It is what the Auditor Generals are saying. It is what the Controller of Budget is saying. It is what the National Treasury is saying about funds received by the various county governments. And therefore, nobody will accuse the Senate, Mr. Speaker, to say that you have favored this or that particular county government. Why am I speaking to that, Mr. Speaker? I was just tying it to the improvement that Senator Andrew Mtata wants us to have in the reporting structure of IFMIS reports that are sent to this House, Mr. Speaker, because when you receive a report on exchequer releases, it is just a block figure where you know that 200 million or 300 million is the amount that went to your particular county with no particular or specific focus, Mr. Speaker, to what it actually did in your particular county, Mr. Speaker. At least as an area senator that is diligent, Mr. Speaker, you will be keen enough to know that if you see a particular contractor being paid through your own networks, because then we have, Mr. Speaker, this particular current session of the House, we have resourced our members by at least ensuring on account of the County Oversight Fund, Mr. Speaker, that they have representative and a staff emolument, Mr. Speaker, that allows senators to have a good establishment that can keep track of county projects across the counties. And if you see a particular contractor, for example, has been paid, and you know this particular contractor was building a certain hospital, as a present senator, Mr. Speaker, through either you directly or through your officers, you're able to tell whether that contractor is on site or they longed about on site and they are now just pilfering public funds, Mr. Speaker. This is why this motion is exciting to me, Mr. Speaker, because upon the passage of this motion, it is within our powers as a House of Parliament to actually direct the Treasury and say the House has resolved by way of vote that from this particular month of July 2026, furnish the House with the IFMIS reports of the particular counties. And why I'm equally even further excited is that, to be honest, I didn't have an opportunity to listen to our colleague, Senator Wakwabubi, on why she wanted this report sent to individual, to committees of the House. Because I feel the original idea that Senator Mtata had of making sure that these reports are sent to the individual senator, Mr. Speaker, is much more accurate, Mr. Speaker, because when you receive the report of your particular county, the county that you represent in this House, you have in your mind the presence to understand the projects that are going on in your county, and you can appreciate
whether your governor is doing the right thing, paying for projects that are ongoing, or they are doing what in common parlance across county governments, Mr. Speaker, has come to be commonly referred as paying for air, where you have contractors, Mr. Speaker, who, Mr. Speaker, have companies that are just readily available for pilferaging funds. You will never see them doing any project in any part of the county, but if you go through the IFMIS reports, their payments are always regular. They are in huge figures, Mr. Speaker, and they are in duplicate of different companies named different names, but all belonging to the same clique of individuals. This is strengthening oversight. And Senator Umtata, when you do a good thing, you deserve to be told you have done well. This is one such moment, Mr. Speaker, where I want to urge each and every one of us colleagues that are in the House to take time, speak to this motion, add your voice to it, let us find time and resolve it, so that even before the new financial year begins in 2026, Mr. Speaker, because what normally happens, Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that is still the practice, because I remember from back in the day as a freshman in this House, Mr. Speaker, I once asked the clerk of the House, who fortunately still continues to serve, and very ably so, and by coincidence happens to come from the same county with the owner of this motion, what happens with the resolutions of the House? And the clerk informed me that we bound them and send them to the respective implementing agencies as the decisions of the House, together with the point items of that which they need to do. I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, that that still holds as a true position of how we transact our business. And at the passage of this motion, the CS for National Treasury, who if this falls under, Mr. Speaker, will definitely just be directed to implement as guided. And if he has trouble implementing this particular resolution of the House, Mr. Speaker, there is no problem. We will summon him here. We'll come and explain to him why we need to receive those reports on a regular and accurate basis. This is the oversight that Kenyans dreamed about when they passed the 2010 Constitution, where they want a Senate, Mr. Speaker, that is properly updated, that we are not just politicians waiting for reports from the Auditor General, Mr. Speaker, 12 months after the crime has already happened. The original sin, Mr. Speaker, happens at the time of payment. That is a time that you can raise concern, including with your county assembly, and writing to them and saying, why do I see resources continuing to go to a particular project, yet you know, member of county assembly for a particular ward, that this project long stalled, Mr. Speaker, and money should not be going to that particular. It will also be important, Mr. Speaker, so that even when you receive these IFMIS reports, you can ask your governor, why out of 500 million shillings that you have received in a particular month, as a chief executive officer for your county, how do you feel that out of an exchequer release of 500, you've used 450 to pay for personnel emoluments, for example, Mr. Speaker? It could be this or the other, because one of the biggest challenges in that report that I referred to early, there is a county, you'll see the report next week, I don't want to preempt debate, Mr. Speaker, that is spending upwards of 60% of the resources, Mr. Speaker, that have been devolved to them, Mr. Speaker, to just pay for recurrent expenditure. Surely, how in the name of devolution is that being allowed to pass? Yet you know, under statutory considerations, Mr. Speaker, 35% is the maximum allowed ceiling under that particular vote. But we have allowed these things. In fact, Mr. Speaker, you know for a fact that if you go through the audit reports, I don't know if you do this, members, of almost more than 60 to 70% of our 47 counties, almost more than half of the resources that you're devolving to counties, that 400 and, I don't know, was it 420 or 425 billion that you're passing? More than 50% of it in 70% of the counties is just paying salaries, meaning you cannot even refer to yourself as a governor. If you're a governor and you're spending more than 50% of the shareable revenue to pay salaries, then you should change the notice on your entrance to your office. Don't refer to yourself as a governor. Say you're entering the office of the paymaster, because that's all you're doing. You're just paying salaries, Mr. Speaker. There's nothing you're governing in that particular county, or the payroll master for that particular matter, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I am particularly excited about this consideration. And Mr. Speaker, there is somebody seeking to inform me. And
Do you wish to be informed by Senator Kadri?
Yes, I don't mind, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed, Senator Kadri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Majority, for accepting information. The information should have come a little earlier. You wanted to know why Senator Wakwabubi was talking about the committee. I am the one who actually raised the point that Senate mandates under Article 96 of the Constitution contemplates collective responsibility. Therefore, it is okay for elected members to get reports, but how about the nominated members? We also play an oversight role. We would actually be able to inform you, I believe, Honorable Senator Cheruyot, looking at the report for Kericho, I will have the eye that will tell you what was done or done badly around gender, what was done or done badly around disability inclusion, what was done or done badly around youth inclusion. So that's why I felt the report should be sent to the Senate. Of course, they will reach the 47 as well as the others. Thank you.
Speaker, I hear Senator Catherine Muma, and that's very useful information, I must say, Senator Catherine. But nothing really stops our colleagues, the nominated senators, from accessing this particular report. It's only that we have said, send it to the individual senator, and as well acceptable or available, sorry, rather, to all the other members of the various delegations, Mr. Speaker. Because I agree that as a nominated member of this House, you have a duty to equally oversight as much as those of us that come to this House by way of universal suffrage, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I don't think in the way that we have proposed, we disenfranchise you of that particular responsibility. The only problem is that the reverse, Mr. Speaker, actually makes it difficult for us, because we already have experience with Public Investments Committee, Public Accounts Committee, where the only interaction we get to have with audit reports from our counties, Mr. Speaker, is when we get that opportunity to appear before them when our county governments are invited. Therefore, I felt that the original idea that Senator Mtata had, where this is sent to you as an area senator, Mr. Speaker, is a better idea, and that will be available to all of us as colleagues. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate, this is good improvement. I must register, Senator Mtata, that this is a noble initiative, and I hope that the CS for Finance and those that are in charge of the FMIS departments are ready with the reports, because I can see from the mood of the House, Mr. Speaker, that members are excited to see this. Separately, Mr. Speaker, and while risking to be relevant, and know that it's important to be relevant, I must celebrate something noble that happened this weekend. Did you notice, Mr. Speaker, that this weekend there were so many political activities, but there is absolutely none, at least none that caught my attention, that was infiltrated or, Mr. Speaker, interfered with by goons across the entire republic. That is the Kenya that we want, Mr. Speaker. I hope the owners of goons from whatever part of the country they come from, Mr. Speaker, can continue with that particular trend. I don't know whether it is because of the threat from the IG or whatever. Allow people to come and say whatever they want to say. The owners of the power, Mr. Speaker, who are the voters, Mr. Speaker, will have their eventual say in all these matters. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Very well, Senator Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start by congratulating the Senator for Busia, Senator Okiya Mtata, for coming up with this very important motion that we resolve that the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury shall be providing the clerk on monthly basis all FMIS transaction and reports for each county government, and those reports will now be transmitted to the respective senators. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important motion in our oversight role as senators, and I'm very confident that it will improve our standing as senators in terms of our work. We'll be able to do our work in time, and basically it will also improve the audit process. Mr. Speaker, let me just discuss a few highlights. In the audit environment for counties, there are 5 common problems. The first one is the issue of pending bills. Pending bills is a problem in almost all our counties because the process of prioritizing payments in the counties is determined according to the interest that county officials have, governor or the chief officers or others there. So you find that some payments are delayed and some payments are even voided in euphemisms. So the challenge of voiding payment, it's common, and that is what in most cases would lead to a lot of challenges, including generation of pending bills. So this particular motion, if implemented properly, will give us a chance to know which payments have not been prioritized and for what reason they have not been prioritized. So eventually, Mr. Speaker, we will, after some time, be able to deal with this challenge of pending bills that is common in all our counties. The other major problem that we experience in our counties is diversion of funds, where the counties make requests to the controller budget for some payments. Once the controller budget has approved the request, those requests are substituted with other payments which were not approved by the controller budget. And actually this also leads to pending bills. So the issue of diversion of funds, which is a crime, Mr. Speaker, will be able to be flagged out by senators because we will be able to know which particular payments have been diverted and which ones have not been diverted. Then there is the issue of late disbursement of funds, which in most cases has been blamed on control of budget. But sometimes it is also largely to do with the treasury. So we will be able to know what is happening in IFMIS and know where the blame should lie. Then there is a challenge of non-remittance of statutory deductions, where counties make payments without paying taxes, without paying SACCO dues, without paying pension, and this has been a problem in most counties. We will be able to flag out all this. Mr. Speaker, so this motion is important. I want to support it. And most importantly, it will help us to stop being morticians, Mr. Speaker. You know, we are basically morticians. We wait for the Auditor General to do his report, and then now we come a year later. Now the system has improved because of Article 229, Mr. Speaker. But before that, we could even look at reports that were done 2-3 years ago. We will be able to do these things almost in real-time time. 1 month period, we'll be able to discover if there is any major fraud in the offing or any major anomaly, and we will be able to pick it up. So instead of waiting for the Auditor General to do her reports to us 1 or 2 years later, we'll be able to pick up in time and be able to act on it as soon as possible. But, Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, there are gaps in the audit process. If you look at the Auditor's General reports and the process, you realize that there are huge gaps. You know, the law does not allow the Auditor General to give us the draft management letters that they usually give at the point of exit meeting. But if you look at the draft management letters, it usually has many, many issues which don't end up in the main audit report that is published. Mr. Speaker, this process will allow us to be able to flag out some of those issues which don't eventually end up in the audit report that is published by the Auditor General. And therefore, that will help the Senate to enhance its oversight role, to enhance its governance issues on matters to do with funds in our counties. But Mr. Speaker, even as we do that, even as we seek to get the reports on monthly basis, I would like to advise that this process, let us see how it runs. But the most ideal thing is for the senators to be given read-only rights to IFMIS, so that we don't have to wait for 1 month, then we get reports. Sometimes those reports may be manipulated. Some important information may be omitted. So we come and look at it a month later. The most ideal thing would be we are given access to IFMIS, read-only access, and we are able to check for ourselves what is happening in as far as payment in our counties is concerned. That will help a great deal. Real-time access to IFMIS. But, Mr. Speaker, even with that IFMIS access, we'll still be incapacitated. Even with these reports that we are talking about, we'll still be incapacitated. I think the most ideal thing, and this is something that we have been crying for, we need IFMIS to be made an end-to-end solution, financial management solution. Right from the counties, where we have COB officials, then coming to COB, the approval process they undertake, and then coming to the payment at Treasury through IFMIS, and then eventually to Central Bank. The challenge of IFMIS is that IFMIS is not yet an end-to-end solution. So even if we were to compare the approvals that have been made by controller of budget against what has been paid, we'll still have it a problem to us. Because now we are not able to see in real time what the controller of budget has approved to be paid. So I think even as we support this motion, the most ideal thing would be, one, to be given real read-only access to IFMIS. Number two, to push so that we have an end-to-end IFMIS solution. That would help. Because I still see there will be a lot of back and forth in this process because of the manual aspect of these reports which be generated by the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, I have talked about Parliament being like a mortician. I think if we look at other jurisdictions, like in the UK, we must appreciate that the Auditor General has the constitutional right to do the audit process. But internally in Parliament, we need to have an internal audit unit so that some of these things are flagged out before, in real time, before the Auditor General comes up with a report a year later. And we are able to deal with the frauds that happen in our counties in record time. So I think that is something that the Parliamentary Service Commission has to think about, and it's not just Senate, even national government. Parliament has to have an internal audit function that can give us reports on our counties or public sector so that we are able to do our oversight in real time. Mr. Speaker, this recommendation will also help us deal with the gaps that we have in our oversight process and in our audit process. And Mr. Speaker, our county offices will function better than we are doing now, because even getting information from counties, Mr. Speaker, is a problem. The senator for Busia had a problem with the county government of Busia because he could not get documents that he wanted. And I'm sure the rest of us here have problems getting information from our own counties. So this is going to help. Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, now that we are talking about audit, I think the audit, the framers of our law gave the responsibility on oversight committees to minority side. In the old system, we used to call it opposition side. Mr. Speaker, I think we need to relook at this, because if you have decided to join the government, ideally you should not lead or participate in oversight committees. That is wrong. Because what are you oversighting? We need to rethink this thing. If you make a decision, even if you are on the minority side or on majority side, and you make a decision to be on the government side, then ideally it is not moral for you to chair or be the vice chair of an oversight committee like PIC or OPAC. I am just giving an advice because of what is happening in this House and even in the National Assembly. You cannot be, for example, the chairman of PAC in National Assembly oversighting the same government that you are supporting on a day-to-day basis. Then that is no oversight. So even as we do this, I know Senator Omutata is working on something on this. And this will help this country if we go that direction. But if we go in direction that people who are in government side can be the ones leading oversight committees, then we are not doing oversight, Mr. Speaker, because you know what it means if you are oversighting someone you are supporting. I think even as we do all these good improvements, that is one area that must be looked into carefully so that we can give confidence to the Kenyans and the public that indeed the houses of parliament are serving the people of Kenya in terms of oversight. I think this motion will help us a great deal. But then, as alluded by the majority leader, I think motions are passed by this House. But this motion, sometimes implementation becomes a problem. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I still support the idea of us having a committee on implementation so that some of these things, good things that we pass in this House are followed up in sufficient time by a specific committee to ensure that they are implemented. I fear that 60 days after we pass this motion, I fear that maybe Treasury may not
No, you should be very observant on the, and keen. The seconds, just put the full stop within 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon, I think, Finance Committee. Once this motion has been passed, please ensure that this motion is implemented within 60 days after the passage of this. Otherwise, we will not be doing justice to the member who has come up with this motion and many of us who are supporting this motion. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Senator Tsaligai Samson.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this motion by the distinguished senator from Busia, Senator Okoiti Okia Omtata Andrew, who was a presidential candidate. I don't know whether he's still a presidential candidate. And somebody has alluded that we have a number of presidential candidates in this house. We have him, Nairobi Senator. We have people who want to be governors, others cabinet secretaries. So this house is full of leadership. And we have former members of this house, Mr. Speaker, who have gone to high offices, including the current deputy president. Professor Kithure Kindiki was sitting where you are sitting then in the last session. So it looks like your future is bright if you follow in those footsteps. So I want to congratulate my brother, Senator Okia Omtata, who is always very level-headed, who is always out. And I remember, the reason can be stem, I remember when Senator Omtata was attacked for demanding for this information, was very unfortunate by the goons allegedly sponsored by Busia Governor. And it's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, I saw he was never given a chance to address the installation and consecration of the ACK Diocese of Katakwa, new bishop. He was just acknowledged, Mr. Speaker, but I hope next time we will be allowed to say something as a presidential candidate. Mr. Speaker, this stems from the fact that access to information under Article 34 and 35, access to information and access to media is a basic right, Mr. Speaker. But you find most of our Kenyans, especially in most of our counties, they can't access even a budget, Mr. Speaker. They can't. They can't access even a CIDP, County Integrated Development Fund, the development program. They can't access annual development plan. They can access medium-term strategy paper that is processed by the county governments of either county executive or county assembly. Mr. Speaker, when you were in the last session, and I thought in 2016 you passed a bill called Access to Information Act, and I know then you serve at the lower house, the National Assembly, and you did process that act. But it looks like access to information held by state agencies is still a mirage, Mr. Speaker, which is very unfortunate. That we don't need to come and do a motion to do our job as envisaged under Article 96 on oversight, Mr. Speaker. When I need, and by the way, I want to confess, whenever I need information from the county executive of Nandi, I have to use a lot of magic, including, Mr. Speaker, even sorcery-like tactics to access some of this information, Mr. Speaker. Because the governor there who runs the county wouldn't want anybody to know what he's doing, because he's conniving, perambulating, and calaventing into the access of the information, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I have said sorcery-like. I'm not saying like sorcery-like, Mr. Speaker.
Just a minute, there's a point of order from Senator Kavindu Mudhama.
Mr. Speaker, I want to hear from the Senator Cheregai what kind of sorcery he uses at this hour and era to bewitch. Are you a witch? Are you a wizard? So that you can use sorcery. Can you tell this house if you are a wizard that you use sorcery? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr.
Speaker,
can you make that necessary clarification?
Or is it clarification? Mr. Speaker, I said sorcery-like tactics, militant-like tactics. And you know, as the descendant of Koitalel Samoe, there is a way I can express it. It comes out. Orgayot-like, orgayot, it is, you can only express in my local language, just like during JK, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the reason I'm arguing is that most of the, Mr. Speaker,
You do wish to be informed
by all
Senator
means.
Omtata?
Yes,
Yes, we want to go into some history here. Senator Kavindu has used the word witch and wizard.
Yes.
Now, in English, there was a time when both words were bad.
Yes.
Today, a wizard is good, a witch remains bad. We had a master and a mistress. The master is good today, a mistress remains bad. So, when she was asking, I just want to clarify that these words, witch and wizard, are no longer at the same level. A wizard is now something positive. Yeah, the male side is positive. The master side, which is male, is positive. But the female side remains negative.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes,
Mr. Speaker,
just informing our brother.
Mr. Speaker, that is enough information. The direction he's taking will bring what we call quagmire. That might confuse, Mr. Speaker, more. But I want to say that access to information in our counties is still a mirage, and I think colleagues will. How many colleagues of ours can access budget, can access medium-term strategy, CIDP, annual development plans of our counties? It is hard, even in Meru. Mr. Speaker, I remember, and I want to strongly condemn the words of former impeached deputy president, where he was referring you as a corrupt. Mr. Speaker, we have never known you as a corrupt. That you participated in Luvugirinturi, you are not a member of National Assembly, you are a member of the Senate. That you participated in removing Kawira, which is your constitutional right, that you removed him. Mr. Speaker, this era of tribal negative rhetoric must come to an end in this country, Mr. Speaker. And even going ahead and say we'll kill snake and the eggs, Mr. Speaker. Those are rhetorics that have challenged the NCIC to pick up immediately and investigate and ensure such people as former impeached deputy president must fail full force of the law. They are not above the law. No one is above the law, Mr. Speaker, and you must be respected. I even saw attacking even an Asian origin, Rahim Dawood, a member of Ocean that has been elected severally by people of Meru, that they should elect somebody who is a Meru. Mr. Speaker, what is incitement and hate speech? More than that, an NCIC should look for information, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this country must be taught through the rule of law, Mr. Speaker. And I hope people like my brother Vihiga, Senator, should disassociate and distance themselves from such people who promote ethnic rhetoric in this country, Mr. Speaker, so that we can move out in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me get to the substratum and the flesh of the matter at hand, Mr. Speaker. So I want to thank Senator Okiya Omtata on the issue of
out of order,
information
Senator Sutsi?
management and integration system.
Just a minute, Senator Chelgi.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise on standing order number 105 on statement of fact. He has said that I associate with those kind of people he has talked about. Mr. Speaker, I want to be very clear that I, Godfrey Osotsi, I associate and proudly associate with the Linda Mwananchi movement. And Linda Mwananchi is a movement that is going to change this country for the better, under the leadership of His Excellency Edwin Watenya Sifuna, not the people that he's referring to. And I also want to tell you that I cannot associate with the UDA in any manner, or the other UDFB that belongs to the people who wear orange here.
Actually, what he said is you should desist. You should not associate yourself with such characters.
Mr. Speaker.
But you wanted to do a bit of some politics.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, you know when Senator Cherargei is speaking, he wanted to get the limelight. But I want to reply.
Let's get another point of order
as a UDA,
from the majority.
We don't want Ososi, even in the next life. We will never allow Ososi to join UDA. Even if he comes like an angel, I can confirm to the House that as a member of UDA, we will
Senator Chelgi. Yes, majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, now this debate has been lost. I wanted to interrupt at the time where Senator Osotsi said, I can never associate with UDA. Yet I know, Mr. Speaker, that unless, Mr. Speaker, I don't recall well, in my life in this parliament, we have associated with Osotsi very well. I have, on many occasions, Mr. Speaker, taken him to meet very big people in UDA. We have done functions with him in Vihiga, with representation from the UDA party. Mr. Speaker, made donations there. Mr. Speaker, I have not said of now. He said, I can never. That means in the past, in the present, and in the future, Mr. Speaker. The future, nobody knows. The present is what we know. But at least I wanted to remind him that in the past, he has done it. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what he intends to do with.
No, honorable senators, you know, we are done with the happy hour. That is the statement time. So we are now on serious business, debating a very, very important motion by Honorable Okiya Omtata. But now we are degenerating into another happy hour, which was closed by the former chair. So proceed and conclude. Your time is up, actually.
Chair, no, the time is still, I have time. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, information management system, and I want to say that, Mr. Speaker, my argument of IFEMIS after 2016 OAG report, this IFEMIS is an intentional fraud sponsored. Because IFEMIS as a system allows what we call voiding of payments by counties. And this is where governors are stealing the money. Because this IFEMIS, Mr. Speaker, it has what we call unexplained cancellation, control override, and ledger discrepancies. And this was captured by the OAG report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is also the issue of network architecture that has not been captured. Then there is lack of end user, where the Vihiga senator has alluded to, Mr. Speaker. So looking at this report, and colleagues should be aware that the reason, and you have to appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that there are many in the report of the OAG that IFEMIS, as a system, has not assisted counties in transparency and accountability. And that is why when approvals and requisitions are made to the COB, the controller of budget does not have a view to the end user. And that is when voiding of payments happen, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we must ensure that even in this system, and Senator Omtata through the Speaker should be aware that there is also lack of integral service level agreement that was noted, inadequate backup policies, Mr. Speaker, and also security issues, including duplicate of users and password expiry, and lack of proper approval processes. Mr. Speaker, you have to note that this is one of the that was paid to the Oracle Egypt, a total of $705,600 in 2011-2012, and 2011-2012 $250,000. Mr. Speaker, the counties that continue to give voided payments, and this is, senators, you should be aware, this is where governors are stealing, is there were 14,000 in 2024-2025 approved payments amounting to 24 billion cleared by COB, but there was no valid documentation or justification, and these counties are 13. For example, Nyandarua Council and voided 1.2 billion, followed by Samburu 1.6 billion, Kisumu 2.6 billion, Kajiado 2.2 billion, Busia 2.15 billion, where the governor was renovating a launch like ours there with more than 200 million. I think our launch was more cheaper. Bomet 1.27 billion, Mombasa 921 million, and Embu 313 million. All these colleagues were voided payments that cannot be accounted for. 24 billion, including Machakos, is here. Machakos, I can't get it because my time is fast spent, but I will share with my colleague. It is 24 billion, Mr. Speaker, that were voided. So it means 24 billion approved by COB but cannot be accounted for, which means they have been stolen, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, I agree that each and every senator, every endman, must be able to access their reports, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy that our students are here. This is a generation where it is digital. Literacy is the highest. But I saw an argument that as digital literacy and computers are used, the cognitive level comes down. But I'm happy they are here because they have here to learn. Mr. Speaker, allow me with your indulgence that at least 2 of my schools, Mr. Speaker, from Nandi County, that is Taito Senior School in Nandi Hills Sub-County or Nandi Hills Constituency, and Chemase Day and Boarding Junior School, have been able, I don't know whether they have been allowed or they are here, that have been, these 2 schools from Nandi County are part of the many learners who are sitting in your gallery, Mr. Speaker, and they are able to follow this conversation. That we want them to, this is an era of digital literacy. This is an era, Mr. Speaker, of opportunity where we are focused. And therefore, I want to wish Taito Senior School and Chemase Day and Boarding Junior School all the best, Mr. Speaker. And therefore urge this distinguished senator that after resolution, Mr. Speaker, after the resolution of this House, we must ensure that we need an implementation committee. I think I rarely agree with the Vihiga senator. But on this one, on implementation committee, we must ensure that we have an implementation committee. Because we will pass. How will we know Senator Kavindu has received a report of IFMIS? How will we know Senator Christo Lasige, Senator Mwaruma, Mr. Speaker, who is our incoming chairperson of County Public Investment Committee of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, so that he can be able to ensure that Taita Taveta gets the IFMIS report? How can we ensure that Kalwale, the bullfighter, who is fighting in Talanyi, has an opportunity to access and be able to oversight? Although I know he likes it oversighting in funeral services, how can he go to a funeral somewhere in Lukuyani and share the information about Kakamega County, Mr. Speaker? I agree, even in Bungoma, Mr. Speaker, where Senator Wakoli, who has been suffering in the hands of the governor severally, Mr. Speaker, but lucky he eats well. You know, I sat with Senator Wakoli over lunch, and he eats around 5 kilos of ugali, Mr. Speaker. So he can be able, Mr. Speaker. The only missing the legacy, Mr. Speaker, is Terere. He's telling me there should be Terere and Imondo. That is missing in the legacy, and I want to appeal to Parliamentary Service Commission. How can you consume 5 kilo worth of ugali without proper Terere and Ingogo, Mr. Speaker? But I want to appreciate that in future we might include Mursik as part of the legacy, Mr. Speaker. So in an upshot, I want to agree with this motion. Let us support, let each and every senator access the IFMIS report so that we can do timely, Mr. Speaker, oversight, and ensure also we don't become morticians, Mr. Speaker. Because when you go to Meru and tell people financial year 2024-2025, they might not understand, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because my time was spent, can you add me 1 minute so that I wrap up my thoughts?
No, since you ended time for Ingoho, ugali, 5 kilograms, and all those things, I think you are done with your
But, Mr. Speaker, you have consumed my 3 seconds. Mr.
Therefore,
Speaker,
now let us,
I support this.
let us now listen to Senator Mwaruma.
Mike, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to have my input on this motion by the Senator for Busia, Senator Andrew Okia Omtata Okoiti MP, on the provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, the Senate is given the mandate to protect counties and their governments according to Article 96 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. Article 217, Mr. Speaker, of the same Constitution gives the Senate the mandate to oversight the funds that are dispersed to the counties, Mr. Speaker. I have to say that the primary oversight should be done by the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker. That is the primary oversight. Why? Because the county assemblies take part in doing the budgets. The projects and programs are done within the wards in the counties, Mr. Speaker. However, according to the ruling in the case of the Senate versus Council of Governors and 6 others, petition number 24 and 27 of 2019, that was consolidated in 2022, the Supreme Court affirmed the position of the Senate to oversight the counties for the funds appropriated nationally and locally generated revenue, Mr. Speaker. The people or the public expects the senators to do their oversight mandate. However, Mr. Speaker, this mandate cannot be carried out effectively if there is no adequate information and documentation, Mr. Speaker. And the thrust of this motion, Mr. Speaker, is the request that the IFMIS reports are provided to the senators. Mr. Speaker, this motion must be supported, and I do support, Mr. Speaker. Why? Because if there's a project or a program that is being implemented in the county and payments are made, we don't have access to information whether the projects and the programs that have been implemented or have been paid for have actually been implemented. Mr. Speaker, there are so many ghost projects that have been paid for, Mr. Speaker, in the counties. But as senators, we cannot ascertain whether that payment has been made. In my county, sometimes you have a hall that has been constructed. The bill of quantities requires that the hall is constructed and a toilet is constructed and water reservoir is also constructed. But you discover, Mr. Speaker, that the whole payment has been made, yet some of the components in the BQ have not been implemented. For example, full payment for a project of a hall maybe has been done, but there is no toilet that has been constructed, Mr. Speaker. So when we get this documentation, Mr. Speaker, it will allow the individual senators who are actually doing oversight across the counties using the Senate Oversight Fund to ascertain that whatever program of project has been paid for through IFMIS is actually in existence. Mr. Speaker, apart from the provision of the IFMIS reports, there are other very important documents that are required to be accessible to the senators. For example, budgets. More often than not, Mr. Speaker, senators are said not to be doing effective oversight because of lack of documentation. For example, when a budget is made, there are so many projects that appear in the initial budgets, which goes through public participation. But, Mr. Speaker, when a supplementary budget is done, which supplementary budget does not go through public participation, the public says that we had our projects in the budget, but they have not been implemented. The money has been stolen, but the senator is not saying anything. But the problem is the public is not aware that having done the initial budget, there are other supplementary budgets that have been done, and the unfortunate part is that these budgets are done without public participation, Mr. Speaker. So we need also a view of the budgets and all the other supplementary budgets, but that now that it is not in this motion, maybe other motions should be done to make sure that all the necessary documentation that is required to do proper and effective oversight for the senators are provided, Mr. Speaker. The other documents that would really be important is the requisition for monies from the controller of budget, Mr. Speaker. Because then even if you are given the report from the IFMIS report from the accounts, Mr. Speaker, again you do not know which projects and programs have been requisitioned for payment. So even if you have that IFMIS document, but you do not know what the county governments had requisitioned, then you do not have two documents to compare. Mr. Speaker, also it's important that also there's a way that the projects and programs that have been requisitioned for payment, that information is there so that together or side by side with the IFMIS report, we can be able to ascertain that why is this project was requisitioned for payment, but finally it has not been paid for. And the culprit that the Senator Cherargei was talking about is called voiding of payments, that the county government can request for payment of a particular program, and then they end up paying another program. The payment is voided, and that is the main culprit in the escalation of pending bills, Mr. Speaker. So I really want to request maybe, if it is possible, maybe through other motions or processes, that those reports, the requisition reports, can also be available, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during audits, according to Article 229, Mr. Speaker, there are also documents that would be important for senators to access, especially the management letter, Mr. Speaker. When the audit is done, or the initial audit is done by the external auditors from the Office of the Auditor General, at times they point to malfeasance in the counties. But then the problem is sometimes they are managed, and in the final certificate, the issues that were flagged by the auditor do not appear. Mr. Speaker, sometimes it would be important for the senators to access that initial report, the management letter or the draft reports, because Kenya being what it is, I want to believe that sometimes the management letter is managed by the management, and the final report does not reflect the actual malfeasance in the counties, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, this is a very important motion that would ensure that our counties or the oversight role of the senators is enhanced, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that if finally we get these IFMIS reports, I would be able to assist our people who have not been paid, Mr. Speaker, or have not accessed their funds, but that money already was provided for payment, Mr. Speaker. So I would want to say that this is a very important motion that all of us, Mr. Speaker, should support. And we have noted in this motion that as a result of unchecked financial information and systems, county governments have continued to accumulate pending bills resulting from unplanned expenditures, unaccounted for, and inflated cost of projects, Mr. Speaker. So I would like to really end it here, Mr. Speaker, but really note that governments and senators must be provided with this information, Honorable Speaker. I would want to end it here and say that I support this motion.
Well, Senator Wakoli.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa mimi nidondoe hoja zangu kwa lugha ya Kiswahili kwa sababu Wakenya, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanaposikiza lugha hii ya Kiingereza hawaelewi kwamba ni mfumo ambao unahakikisha kwamba pesa zinalipwa na zinalipwa baada ya kufanya makadirio na serikali za kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono mapendekezo yaliyoletwa na Mheshimiwa kutoka gatuzi la Busia, seneta mwenzangu Mheshimiwa Okiya Omtata. Langu ni kwamba Mheshimiwa Spika, kule mashinani na jinsi tumezungumza katika kamati ya utekelezaji na kuratibu mipango ya Senate, ni kwamba yale ambayo tunaona kwenye magazeti na kwenye vitabu tunavyovibukua, Mheshimiwa Spika, vingine si haswa jinsi vinavyoonekana kwenye vitabu. Na ninaunga mkono kwa sababu iwapo tutaona jinsi fedha zilipotolewa na kulipa wanakandarasi na kulipa serikali ya kaunti na kuwalipa watendakazi ama wafanyakazi wa kaunti, itawezesha wao kuwajibika na sisi kuhakikisha kwamba kile tunachoona ni kile kilicho mashinani. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Mwaruma ametaja kwamba katika magatuzi yetu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba miradi ambayo ilianza mwaka 2014 mpaka sasa kuna miradi haijakamilika, na miradi hii iliratibiwa kwenye bajeti za kaunti, na kaunti haiwezi weka kwenye bajeti miradi ambayo haiwezi kukamilisha. Na tunafahamu fika kwamba mfumo huu wa IFMIS lazima walipokuwa naomba pesa za kulipa, kuna mtu lazima awajibike. So huu mfumo ambao Mheshimiwa Okiya anadai na naomba kwamba tuweze kupata nakala, itatuwezesha na wale ambao wanafanya katika ofisi zetu katika kitengo cha
Bukua kuchunguza na kutia msasa, waweze vile vile kwenda mashinani, wadi kwa wadi, kijiji kwa kijiji, pale ambapo waliweka mipangilio hii, kuthibitisha kwamba mradi upo ama haupo, umetekelezwa vyema ama hapana, ama ni mradi gushi na pesa zimelipwa. Mapendekezo yetu, Mheshimiwa Spika, yataweza kuhakikisha baadhi ya kamati ambazo tunaongoza ama sisi ni wanachama kuzuru maeneo haya pia na kuthibitisha na kuandika mapendekezo ambayo hayatawezesha sisi kuwa kama wale ambao wanataka kufufua waliowafu. Mimi naomba wenzangu maseneta tuunge mkono pendekezo hili ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba ugatuzi unafanya kazi jinsi ilivyotakikana. Mheshimiwa Spika, wenzangu wametaja kwamba kuna baadhi ya wafanyakazi wale ambao wanafanya na Auditor General katika nchi ya Kenya, wanapozuru maeneo yetu na wanapoandika ripoti hizi, hata sisi tuna wafanyakazi katika ofisi zetu ambao wanapaswa kuenda sambamba na wafanyakazi hawa katika magatuzi, ili ripoti wanayoandika isiwe tu ya kisiri ambayo inabaki Nairobi, lakini pia wafanyakazi wetu waweze kutupa nakala hizi ili tuweze kuhakikisha kila mtu anawajibika. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona baadhi ya magavana wakidai kwamba kuna wafanyakazi gushi ambao wanalipwa ilhali hawapo. Lakini hakuna siku kiwauliza ni wafanyakazi wangapi unao katika serikali yako ambao ni madereva, ambao ni makatibu, ambao ni maseremala, hawezi kupa orodha, Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini iwapo mfumo huu utatuonyesha kwamba fedha fulani zililipwa kwenda kulipa marupurupu ya wafanyakazi, itakuwa rahisi kufuatilia na kujua ni wafanyakazi wapi, katika sekta ipi, katika idara ipi, na iwapo kuna wafanyakazi gushi, itakuwa rahisi sisi, Mheshimiwa Spika, kufuata na kupata ukweli. Mheshimiwa Spika, kule mashinani kuna ulaghai ambao unaendelea katika kaunti zetu ama katika magatuzi yetu. Kuna miradi ambayo ni mradi mmoja lakini unalipwa mara mbili. Kwa mfano, wanasema kwamba barabara ya kutoka Nairobi kwenda Bungoma imewekwa bilioni 3. Na baada ya muda mchache wanasema barabara kutoka Bungoma kuja Nairobi wameweka bilioni 2. Na wanatumia mfumo ambao Wakenya wengi hawaelewi. Sasa mtu mmoja analipwa mara mbili kwa gari ama kwa barabara moja. Iwapo tutapata mfumo wa IFMIS, tutaweza kuthibitisha mradi ambao unasemekana umetekelezwa katika wadi fulani. Na iwapo imeonekana kila mwaka barabara hiyo hiyo inatengezwa hata kama haina kasoro, lakini utaona wanapita na matingatinga, alafu kabla wamalize pesa zimelipwa. Huu mfumo wa IFMIS utaweza kusaidia wale ambao wanadai serikali za county fedha kwa kazi walizofanya na ilhali county haiwalipi. So mimi kwa niaba ya watu wa Bungoma na Wakenya wote naunga mkono pendekezo hili, ili ninapozuru maeneo yenu nitakuwa na kile nitakachokuwa na rejelea, na iwapo nitampata yeyote ameweka mkono ama kidole kwenye kikombe cha halua cha kifedha cha watu wa Bungoma, lazima kamatwe, awajibike, na iwapo atapatikana na hatia awekwe korokoroni, Mheshimiwa Spika, ale maharagwe na chai ya mkandaa. Nashukuru. Tutanyakua mali aliyochota, lakini abaki kule akisaga meno. Nashukuru Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Kavidu Mudhamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to congratulate Senator Omtata for this very important motion about the IFMIS records being brought to the senators. Mr. Speaker, we are really having big issues at the counties as elected senators because, Mr. Speaker, we depend on Auditor General's reports and control our budget to be able to pick what has not been done right or wrong at the counties. And Mr. Speaker, if we get this IFNI's report every month, as the motion has requested, it will be very easy for us to pick on the issues at the counties and follow up the issues and at least prevent a lot of damages being done to the counties. Mr. Speaker, when you go to many of the counties, you find a lot of stored projects, starting with Machakos County. A lot of stored projects from 2013 to date, which has not been completed, and those are taxpayers' monies that are lying there with at the stored projects. Mr. Speaker, the same with the pending bills. You'll find that we have a lot of pending bills in all the counties, not only in Machakos, but in Machakos we have pending bills of more than 5.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, these pending bills originates from the first governor of Machakos. He left pending bills of more than 3 billion. And right now we have also increased with the current governor. Mr. Speaker, with this IFNI's report on monthly basis, we'll be able to follow up what projects has been given to who and how many projects has been paid, because there's a tendency of giving people tenders and then they pay with the same money others who have not given. And that is why we have a lot of pending bills in the counties. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this report will really help us do our oversight according to Article 96. And then you'll find the governors go do public participation. And the people at the ward level, give them the projects that they want done in their wards. But the next time they go, they will be given the same projects. So you wonder, what is the meaning of the public participation? If you will go do public participation, the ward people tell you what they need in their ward, and then you don't implement it, and you go back again asking them the same questions, and they give you the same projects, and yet monies are being used. We are fighting for devolution. We are releasing a lot of monies to the counties, and we are not seeing what this money is doing. So, Mr. Speaker, I really support this motion, and I request every senator to support this motion so that we can know as early as every month what is happening with the money that we take to the counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Good. Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to support this motion by the senator from Busia County, Senator Okia. Mr. Speaker, this motion really, first of all, it really helps us as the Committee of Finance and Budget. Our mandate is very vast. We have the responsibility on matters finance, especially on pending bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our committee where I serve interacts very highly with the Minister for Finance, Auditor General, Control of Budget, and all these different stakeholders, Mr. Speaker. The motion that has been presented by Senator Kyo, which I highly support, Mr. Speaker, is really going to help us as a House from a bigger perspective, because normally what happens in the different committees, when a matter is brought up and delegated to a specific committee, a report is finally tabled depending on how the committee did its findings. But you realize, Mr. Speaker, as much as the committee has tabled that particular report, at times few members really are keen to get to know what is this report about, what did the committee conclude. But with a proposal by the senator indicating that each and every senator and that is a total of 67 senators in the Republic of Kenya, to be able to be provided with the IFMIS reports, Mr. Speaker, it is going to maximally help in achieving the oversight responsibilities that is vested in each and every senator of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this issue of, or this proposal by the senator ensuring that these reports are accessible, it's not about any political issues or wrangles in place, because I've seen a lot of governors whereby when their respective elected senator brings up an issue, it's always looked at as political. They forget that one of our key roles is oversight, and it is the responsibility of that particular senator to be able to ensure that they do the oversight role. But when that happens, you find that issues arise. But when these reports will be fully accessible, everyone or every senator will be able to see the reports of even other counties. They can be able to reference with other counties. I'll give an example. When we went to the county of Vihiga to do the oversight as finance committee on the monies for FLOCA, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what we found in Vihiga County was progress. Good job that has been done as far as the FLOCA funds were concerned. But the neighboring county, that is the county of Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, a county that is led and its leadership is by professors, Mr. Speaker, it was a shock. It looked like people in a different, completely different worlds, Mr. Speaker, as far as these funds were concerned. So when these reports will be tabled and accessed fully by all the senators, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to reference the same way I'm referencing between Vihiga County and Kisumu County, Mr. Speaker. Access to the IFMIS reports, Mr. Speaker, will ensure maximum accountability, transparency and effective oversight by all senators, Mr. Speaker, because we will be dealing with factual data. The issues where we'll be seeing even some Kenyans coming out criticizing that particular funds have been allocated to a specific project. Some of those allegations have been untrue, some have been true, but the reports have not really been what should be, Mr. Speaker. But with the access of this information, Mr. Speaker, it will also be able to help the senators speak out to what has been allocated to Project A or Project B. And that will be able to help the citizens whom we represent to be able to share correct information as far as the funds are concerned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the motion talks about monthly reporting through the clerk of the Senate, Mr. Speaker. Monthly reporting of these reports will ensure timely financial information to all the senators. And this will help us be able to bring out the facts for each and every county, Mr. Speaker. The issue of the pending bill, Mr. Speaker, is an issue that is across all counties, Mr. Speaker. With this particular information on table, we will be able to embark fully on what is the issue. Have the suppliers who were in the system previously been paid? What does the report say? Were their companies listed for payment? If not, what happened, what transpired? There will be specific questions to specific answers to specific questions, Mr. Speaker. How resources have also been utilized, Mr. Speaker, by the different counties. These reports will be able to highlight how these budgets have been put in place. And I give an example, like today we had the county of Tana River visiting our committee or attending to the invite that we had done. And when we are looking at the issues of the county headquarters, Mr. Speaker, Tana River being one of them that benefited among the 5 counties, Mr. Speaker, you realize, Mr. Speaker, there was a 385 million that the county assembly had put aside for construction. And all that they need to put aside, Mr. Speaker, is funds or monies for recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker. So these are some of the things that, without that knowledge, then the senator of Tana River will not be aware that 385 billion has been set aside and approved by the county assembly of Tana River to be able to do construction, which is not their mandate, Mr. Speaker. There will be definitely there'll be identification of any irregularities and delays that has been in place within these counties as far as projects are concerned, Mr. Speaker. Then, Mr. Speaker, we have other stakeholders that when the committees or even a particular senator looks at the reports, they'll be now in a better position to see what to recommend to the different stakeholders. Case example, the EACC, the Office of the ODP, and action is taken, because sometimes Kenyans do ask us, when you realize that this happened, what did you do? Mr. Speaker, our mandate allows us to do what we call recommendation to the other authorities who have the powers to be able to prosecute the matters that have been identified, Mr. Speaker. And so what I'll be able to conclude and say is that let all the offices provided by the Senate clerk, all the 67 offices, be able to access and have all these reports produced or tabled to all the senators, so that collectively we can be able to ensure that all these budgets, the audit reports, are accessible, and at the same time we are able to look at them deeply. I've had an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, when I served in the County Investments Committee, we were able to grill governors and matters audit. The other committee that I serve as the vice chair, I have an opportunity, but you can imagine when that cuts across to all the other 66 senators, then it becomes a plus to each and every senator to be able to ensure that oversight is fair. So that, Speaker, because you come from the county of Meru, when you arise and speak on a matter that affects the great county of Meru, Mr. Speaker, it will not just be your matter. We will have access and we will have looked at what are these issues that have been, the senator of that particular county has raised, and how should they be addressed for the benefit, because we represent the Republic of Kenya. The only difference is that we come from specific counties, but the representation is for the Republic of Kenya. So with those and many few, I really do support this motion, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni Korale, Daktari.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. Mr. Speaker, I also rise not only to support this very important motion, but also to congratulate the Senator of Busia for this forward thinking. But before I do so, Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the people of Trans Nzoia County and Bungoma County for the warm reception that they gave us over the weekend when we visited them to talk about matters of oversight and management of state resources. This was during the Linda Mwananchi rallies, Mr. Speaker. My first point, Mr. Speaker, is that Kenyans listening to us, some of them don't know what we are talking about. We are saying IFMIS. They're wondering what this animal called IFMIS that is being talked about in Parliament. Allow me, therefore, Mr. Speaker, to very briefly tell them that what IFMIS means is a real-time monitoring of income collection and the expenditure that is done in real-time basis, so that the capacity of Parliament to oversight, Mr. Speaker, can be enhanced. It means in full integrated finance management system. It's a pity that internationally, IFMIS is supposed to capture both income and expenditure. But, Mr. Speaker, unfortunately in this country, we are more keen on knowing the expenditure without capturing and recording the income, Mr. Speaker. So, what does this bill intend to achieve? We want, using this law, Mr. Speaker, to make oversight that is better than what we are doing currently, because when you wait for the report of the Auditor General, some of those reports come 3 years late, 2 years late. But with IFMIS, we will have real-time monitoring and therefore oversight. What is more is that when you are not waiting for 3 years before you make a pronouncement as Parliament, or you make intervention as the area senator, as the county senator or the area member of parliament, then both income and expenditure in the county treasury is not transparent. Mr. Speaker, I therefore allowed the senator, because at the end of the day, IFMIS unifies budgeting with, Mr. Speaker, treasury operations, and finally with revenue management. Once you have this, Mr. Speaker, it then makes it easy for you to be a better oversighting chief over the financial transactions that are taking place within the county treasury. I'm glad that I'm speaking on this matter after my sister has returned to the house. My younger sister, Catherine Momo, I'm happy that you owned up, that your advice was sought by nominated Senator Catherine when she was attempting to amend this motion. Allow me to allay your fears. I could hear from your intervention that your fears are that if the reports go to the elected senators, then the nominated senators will not enjoy full access. Maybe. But there are two avenues that the Constitution allows you. And I don't know, because I'm not addressing you, I'm addressing the country. Let me refer you to Article 35 of the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, quote unquote, Article 35 of the Constitution of Kenya states as follows: that every citizen has the right to access information held by the state, and that information held by another person and required for the exercise or protection of any right or fundamental freedom. And two, every person has the right to the correction or deletion of untrue, misleading information that affects that person. And finally, that the state shall publish and publicize any important information affecting the nation. So, Senator Catherine Muma, the fact that this information has been channeled to the Senator of Kakamega.
Senator Boni, why are you referring to Senator Muma?
I had explained, probably your mind was not connected. I'm referring to her because she owned the intellectual property about the amendment that was made by nominated Senator Wakwabobi. So I was just responding to the remarks she made at that time, because it's during debate. So my sister Catherine Muma, you can see that the information that will come to me through this effort by the motion, Article 35 still allows you either to come to me directly, or to go to the county government or the county treasury and access the same information. It takes nothing away from you. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir.
Are you interested in being informed?
Oh, certainly. I would not refuse to be informed by Sister Catherine.
Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for allowing me to inform Senator Halwale. I wish to inform Senator Halwale that my intervention was not about individual senators looking for information. My intervention was about the oversight role of the Senate. And Honorable Speaker, I'd like to refer the Honorable Senator to Article 96, which talks about the Senate. It gives functions to the Senate and then proceeds in 98 to define who the Senate is. So my point was that Senator Omtata has moved an excellent motion for greater transparency in providing information around the IFMIS, and he indicated in the motion it is for purposes of oversight. My reminder was that that oversight is a collective role of all the senators. So if the motion is indicating that the information only goes to 47, then it actually locks out a portion of the Senate as defined in the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy to be...
Just a minute. Just a minute. I give some guidance. Honorable Senators, you know we resolved in this House on the 11th of February. This motion that we have is time-bound for 3 hours. And the motion, according to its timing, should end at 17:31 hours. But then I can't see the mover here because he should get his 15 minutes to reply. So I want you to spend 2-3 minutes to clear, then I'll give an opportunity to the 2 senators queuing here, at least to take 5 minutes each, and then we conclude this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand guided, but I also know that your direction does not take away my right under rules of debate to debate full-time. But because of your respect...
For 15 minutes.
Yes, because of your respect, Mr. Speaker, I stand
Actually,
guided.
you are now at the 7th minute.
I have?
7.
7 minutes. I'll squeeze through. I compress within a short time. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the intervention by Senator Catherine, and I'm so informed. We will do further discussion about it behind the tent. Finally, Mr. Speaker, going to specific projects in counties. This thing is God-sent. You go to a county like Kakamega, we have hundreds of million shillings that were released by the county assembly so that the governor of Kakamega could pay for the road from Lumakanda to Pan Paper. The money has been released. It has been voided. The contractor has not been paid. He has left site after doing only a small distance of 2.5 something kilometers to the gate of the deputy governor. Similarly, the road from Bulimbo, Harambe, to go all the way across to Kaunga. Again, money has been released in hundreds of millions. The contractor has not been paid. He has left the site, Mr. Speaker, and only 3 kilometers have been done to the gate of the governor. If we had this kind of facility, I would not be leaving it to MCS alone. I would not be waiting for 3 years after the Auditor General has prepared. I would intervene early so that this wastage, not only of time, but denying people an opportunity to access services, both through the contractor who was not paid and the public not making use of the intended project, would have, Mr. Speaker, have been avoided. Mr. Speaker, the people of Kakamega should know that this motion will help me to push their governor so that currently the road for which over 400 million shillings was released from Mumiasi town in a place called Muiboma, all the way up to Matawa, that was intended to go up to Indangalasia, I would have tracked it. But the governor of Kakamega, instead, he voids this money. We are afraid, Mr. Speaker, that this money is what we see in the so-called empowerment rallies, where millions of shillings are being wasted to meaningless programs that do not match the budget of the County Assembly of Kakamega, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Finally, but not least, I want to thank Senator Catherine. You have no idea how an elder brother gets proud of a younger sister when the effort starts showing. This is the way to go. There are a lot of people in Nairobi who have come to do parliamentary work, but instead who have become businessmen, joining others to steal from public coffers. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sige.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, Senator Okia Omtata is one of the most dedicated members of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee of the Senate, which I chair, and I must appreciate him for the good work that he's doing in that committee. Besides that, Mr. Speaker, the motion that Senator Okia Omtata has filed before this House, and which we are currently debating, is a timely motion. Mr. Speaker, being a public interest litigator, and of course, by extension, a supporter, a great supporter for that matter of devolution, Senator Omtata has done more than what all of us would have done in bringing this particular motion. And Mr. Speaker, the reason is what everyone has said. We are expected to strengthen devolution. We are expected to support our county governments. And we are expected to ensure that governance of all our county governments and the resources that we distribute from this House and allocate to our respective counties are utilized for the purpose that they are supposed to. But, Mr. Speaker, of course, without data, without information, and without statistics on how that resource is being utilized, we find that most of our county governments, Mr. Speaker, have abused and corrupted the resources which were meant to do certain public projects, serve the people, and improve the livelihoods as it was envisaged by the drafters of the Constitution that introduced devolution. And so I want to appreciate Senator Omtata for this timely motion, and also for extending the motion to make reference to the litigation and the pronouncements that the various courts and matters which he has prosecuted before courts have pronounced themselves in protecting devolution. Mr. Speaker, one of the main reasons why we allowed such motions is because it enables the House and the public in general to appreciate what IFMIS was aimed at when it was first introduced. And Mr. Speaker, during the first tenure of the first county governments in 2013, when IFMIS was rolled out immediately upon that devolution for 7 counties being established, the aim was that in the presence and the proper use of the systems that are in place, we will be able to serve the public in the best manner that was expected of them. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the delays in access of information, the inability of quite a number of all or almost all the county governments to utilize this particular system in their financial management, and also, of course, coupled with the fact that there is intentional desire by those who are running our county governments to abuse and corrupt resources, has led to the concerns that we are talking about, delays in getting information from the Office of the Auditor General or from the Controller of Budget that would help those who are supposed to protect devolution, conduct oversight, from doing it in real time. Mr. Speaker, I recall that Senator Kajwang's committee from last year and the previous year had to burn the midnight oil to make sure that they ran through information and reports that were availed from the relevant committees of the county governments because of a pronouncement that came from the courts. And of course, unknown to quite a number of us, most, if not all the county governments had not implemented or made corrections to the recommendations of both the committees of this House as well as the Office of the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget. And therefore, the absence of real-time information by senators is very, very critical to their role as oversight to the county governments. And if and when this motion, which I want to support and ask members to support, is implemented, senators will be able to get that report in real time on a monthly basis, and it will therefore be an opportunity for them to speak to the areas where resources from county governments have not been properly utilized. Because when we talk about accumulated pending bills don't accumulate not because of anything. It is because of the non-compliance by those who are running county governments, from the office of the governor all the way to the CMCs relevant in the department to comply with the law. This is one of the reasons why this motion, is important, because it will guide them. It will help them to know that I already have the information which it's been availed to me by the Office of the National Treasury, and therefore I'm able to follow through. When we talk about IFMIS generally, IFMIS was aimed at making sure that whatever budget that is being done, whether at the national or county level, complies with the relevant regulations and timelines. The procurement itself was expected to ensure that it sticks to the approved